I'm like,
Honey,
these
she
lyrics,
was not holding back.
baby. I was like,
She did the math.
she said, baby,
She put the numbers
you're gonna
together.
need a seatbelt when I ride it. I was like, you're gonna what?
What's the line after that? Seatbelt when I ride it. I'm gonna
let
leave
you
it open like a door. Come inside
like,
it.
I was like, oh my God.
I felt bad just saying that out loud.
Hey yo, DJ, run me that Sonic Juice shit.
Juice, it's Sonic Juice, it's Sonic Juice, baby. Juice, it's Sonic Juice, it's Sonic Juice, baby.
Welcome to Sonic Juice. Welcome back for all of our returning listeners, and welcome for the oh, honey, you know I love when you do that. You know I love it.
Stop it right now. I'll never do it again.
Sonic Juice.
No, we're not making it a thing. We're not making it a thing. It's my fault too.
It is your fault. Welcome. We're happy to have you here. If you're watching, if you're listening, we'd like to start this episode off today with just a real quick question. We just want to check in with our listeners and let y'all know what we're listening to this week. Mm-hmm. So for me, this week, it's been all about Miss Jessie Ware. You know why? Because that feels good. Okay. Get into it. Jessie Ware put out a new album. I don't know, what was the date? I should say the date because we're gonna, there's a delay.
I feel like it was just last week, like last Friday.
Right, but when the people hear this, what will that mean then? Let's just say she put out an album very recently,
on New
and
Music
it's like
Friday.
On New Music Friday, and it's a super funky disco, housey album. Just a little bit of 90s house in there. And it's just really fun. And I'm just like, it's really been giving me that little boost that I need throughout the week.
That's really fun. That sounded very dismissive, and it wasn't supposed to be dismissive. I also listened to Jessie Ware's album as well. It was a nice listen. Jessie Ware is a great singer. So like,
the vocals.
She always gives vocally the way that she needs to. So I listened to that a little bit. But what I spent the majority of my time listening to is none other than Miss Halle Bailey. Part of Your World was freaking dropped. But you know what? We're not going to spend... This is my fourth or... it's like my fourth or third episode talking about Halle Bailey, so we won't spend time on it.
You stay on brand.
Because she's that girl. But anyways, we're stopping because I will go on. So my actual choice is going to be an artist that I just discovered. His name is Kinsey. And I was just listening to a song while I was at my job, and we have a bar at my job, and this song was playing, and I was like, ooh, this person is smooth. Like, who is this? And one of my coworkers was like, this is Kinsey. You need to check him out. So I haven't listened to like one album in specific. I just went to like his top tracks, and I was listening to tracks, but I've been listening to his song Understand a lot. So Kinsey Understand is just the nice, smooth, lush, very R&B adjacent style. So I would definitely say check him out because
send me a link, girl.
I will send you the link.
Oh, and we could put that in the show notes as well.
That's true.
So we can put all of these in the show notes. So check the show notes.
Exactly.
We'll have our suggestions there and what we're listening to.
Right.
You can jump right to it.
Exactly.
So this time around, this episode on Sonic Juice, we're going to be talking about eras.
And
era. I had to. I'm sorry. I had to.
I see.
Okay.
I'm glad you had your moment. I let you have your moment. Okay.
This is your moment. Have it.
Right. This is your era. It's your era. Right now, it's your DJing era. Like, what would your DJ name be? Like, think about it right now. Like, just off top, what would you think your DJ name would be?
My DJ name be? My DJ name would be...
or we can make it like...
It'd be TXLER Fucks.
TXLER Fucks.
DJ TXLER
You know
Fucks.
What? That reminded me of like when we were on... or it was this thing on Twitter going around where people were like, oh, if you had a tag for... If you were like a producer and a beat maker, what would your tag be? And literally mine, I have to start making beats just because one of our mutual friends like made up a good one for me. And it was literally Myles made the beat, bitch. And
Yes.
but it's the way that she says it. I had her say it and I still had the recording. She was like, Myles made the beat, bitch. And I'm like, yes! I'm like, bitch, I need to make a beat.
You have to make a beat.
And it has to be good because you can't put that at the beginning of a whack beat. Like, come on.
Right.
Right. But anyways, we're already off a tangent. We're here to talk about eras, and not to be confused with Taylor Swift's tour. But we are we are here to talk about basically the different eras that artists go through in their musical career. We know a lot of artists, they either stick to the same thing or they're versatile, they change things around, and we always say, oh, they're in their bad girl era, they're in their comeback, their flop era, their experimental era, their dark era. Like, we always are saying that. And today we're just gonna go through some of our top favorite ones. And then we'll have like a couple of extra ones that are like near and dear to us. So
right. And then of course, always stay around till the end for the hot take, cold take.
Hot take, cold take.
All right, so let's start this shit off with the bad boy, bad girl, bad person era.
Bad person. I'm so glad that you said that. The bad person era.
Gosh, I have like a list. Like I'm ready to talk, as baby
well.
Girl.
I think that we decided that we were gonna do 2 each. Like talk about 2 each or
I thought
each.
we was just gonna I was just gonna shoot some
Let's
out.
Just shoot some out. All right, so
let's shoot it out.
Tyler, what is some of your top like bad girl, bad boy, bad person era?
Some of my tops, would be Christina Aguilera Stripped. Okay, she said it's time to get dirty. She came out with her pukala all out, with her jeans cut, like
with the black hair.
She came out swinging. Probably still her best album. Right. I don't even think it's probably.
She said, baby, she dipped those tips into some black.
Okay, she's dirty.
And the eyeshadow got heavier.
Heavy.
Baby.
Up next, I got Usher's Confessions. Now, he said, I'm a cheater.
Right.
I'm a cheater. I'm fucking. I'm going around. But you love me, right? But like, love me
I'm
still.
still sing so sweetly to you. Like, don't let me go because like I'm confessing it to you. Like,
oh yeah, don't you respect my honesty?
Right.
I didn't mean to fuck her. She was just so hot.
Right. Just listen to him hit me. Listen to me sing those high notes. Just listen to the high notes. You won't even remember. You won't remember.
And then I have a couple more. I have Kehlani, Sweet Sexy Savage.
Of course, Sweet Sexy Savage.
Now that is a bad girl era that I wish would have lingered a little longer.
I definitely wish would have lingered longer. I also was like, that was the era that I was listening, and I know a lot of people may not have caught this, but for me, I was like, when you listen to that album, I was like, I wanted a Brandy feature on that album. Like, it was very layered, very background vocally, very colorful in that way. And I was like, Brandy would have ate on a feature on that song. In general, with Kehlani and Brandy, I love to see a collab happen at some point.
Absolutely. Y'all hear that? Make it happen.
Make it happen.
And then my last one for my tops would be Rina Sawayama album. Debut. Okay. And she only has 2 albums out. Well, I think she had something.
I'm like, so she started her bad girl era?
She had like something. She started in her bad girl era, yeah. Because when you listen to the second one, it's not as bad.
It's not. It's a lot more emotional, a lot more sad.
Yeah. And I mean, I love it. I think it's great. But ooh, that debut came. That bitch said, "I'm a bad friend. I was sneaking out of the house. Shut the fuck up." Like she just she came in her bad girl era,
right?
And I stand.
And okay, so out of those, are those your list? That's your list.
That's my tops. I have some other things I want to talk about when it comes to the bad person era. But
like what things work, what things don't. You want me to do my list first, then?
Yeah, tell me your tops, and then we'll go into some other things.
Well, I can tell you my tops, but no.
No, baby, we don't kiss and tell. You don't kiss and tell.
Woo! I kissed the top, and I liked it. All right, we're stopping.
Said no one. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know what? You know what? The kids are listening. The kids are listening.
I hope
what are you
not.
even talking?
If my niece is listening, she needs to stop. My DJ name is Tyler Fucks, or TXLER Fucks. Like, come on, like we need to
TXLER.
We need to chill. Tell me your tops, bitch.
Honestly, I am really surprised that you didn't pick not one of mine because I just fucking knew it. I was like, oh, we're never gonna have different ones. Number one is Miss Demi Lovato, and I'm not saying particularly an album. I'm saying from 2015 to 2018 because you know what happened? Cool for the Summer dropped, and she was in that bodysuit, and she was showing legs, and she got that hair, and she was in that. She was the smoke and everything. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, Demi! Like it's giving." Oh, you're giving body. You're giving fuck the Disney girl moment. Like, and then from that moment on, she went into Tell Me You Love Me era with Sorry Not Sorry. That is Dirty Sexy Love. Like, that is the era. Like, that was when Demi was like, nah, I'm here, baby. Like, I know. Like, and she was just all the sexual everything. And then I was like, ooh. And then she sang Down. So, my Demi Lovato era from 2015, 2018. And then this one, I'm surprised you did not say. Rihanna, Good Girl Gone Motherfucking Bad, baby. Like,
oh, because I didn't say it because
what?
I have something to say about it. And it kind of no. I'm not saying it's okay. Here, I'll just say it
because we're here.
I feel like this and Miley's Can't Be Tamed. This album and Miley's Can't Be Tamed were like the beginning of a bad girl era that didn't fully develop until the next album. Because when you think about Loud, which came after Good Girl Gone Bad, that bitch said whips and chains excite me. She was ready. Like, she never quite got that bad. And then you listen to Talk That Talk after that, and she's saying Birthday Cake and We Found Love, which is about drugs and shit. Like, she was like...
See, the reason why I say that this is her bad girl era is because you're talking about albums to come. That's because she had already moved into I'm a bad girl now. Like, she was
the beginning.
It was the kickoff, but Rihanna is just the bad girl. Like, even now, she's bad girl Rihanna. Like, she's just that. And so I think that prior to, you know, she was very innocent, very SOS, and very unfaithful. Like, I can't believe he's unfaithful.
Pod to replay, DJ.
Right. Like, very much so. Brown hair, long, luscious colors. And then Good Girl Gone Bad, she was like, fuck that. My asymmetrical bob, black. I'm going to fucking control the water.
Look.
Like, Rihanna,
that look was killer.
Right. The Rihanna, the last waterbender. I'm going to fucking be in that fucking umbrella video, and you girls are going to eat it. Like, and from that point on, she's been that bad girl. So, Rihanna, Good Girl Gone Bad. Then, now, some people may argue me down, but this is the fucking truth. Beyonce's self-titled was her bad girl era.
Okay, because I almost said it. I almost said it.
It was her bad girl era. Because yes, prior to, Miss Beyonce was always giving hips, thigh, butt, and whatever. But Miss Beyonce said, let me sit this ass on ya. She said Monica Lewinsky. Like, are you kidding me?
She said, baby, lick the Skittle. It's the sweetest in the middle.
In the middle. I can't wait to. What? No, baby girl, that was her bad girl era.
It was.
You're
so right.
And bow down bitches. When has she ever been? When has she ever been that cocky? She's never been cocky like that. Flawless. She was like dark makeup, my chains, my grills. Beyonce all on the beat. Like, come on.
Bitch, you're so right. I don't know why I needed to keep thinking about it.
And it's just because Beyonce does everything with so much finesse, and she's always like, oh my God, this is just like, Beyonce is just always doing something on a grand level that you kind of don't compartmentalize like her eras at all. We break up Beyonce's eras just by the name of her albums and like the music videos and whatnot, but we don't sit back and think like, no, Beyonce was literally giving bad girl, sexy. Like that was the first time, and I think that was after Blue. Yeah, Blue was married. Our Blue's married. Wow, Blue was born.
What? Hold on.
Blue was born, and she was like, "Baby, I am a woman. Like I
For
have a
real.
child. I am in a successful marriage. At that time, we thought was a successful marriage, and." I can talk about whatever the entire fucking hell I want to. I've dropped Matthew Knows. I am a big fucking sexy ass
Daddy's
girl.
gone.
So, self-titled. And then one, I might get canceled for talking about this, but we have to bring it up. It's music history. And I also am surprised that you did not bring this one up as well.
I'm excited.
Chris Brown's exclusive. Chris Brown's exclusive was the
Now hold on, Bad Boy.
Take You Down. Come on.
I mean,
Take
yeah,
You
but
Down.
what else? But what else?
It was just that era all in general. And first of all, let's not forget that also was the era that the Rihanna incident went down.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even without it, give Bad Boy now
without the tracks, like it
without
didn't
it didn't even need the tracks. But I was like, Take You Down. That was the first time, and then he was also, I think, like around that era, he also did like a photo shoot with like the first time, like kind of showing his body as well. I was just like, very much so. Like, and even what he's talking about, like, it was a little more innocent. Yes, it was a little more innocent, but I was just like, baby, kiss, kiss. The girl walked across the screen with her ass and he stopped and was like, come on. He wasn't doing that in the first album. First album, he was like, oh, I'm just going to be nice and I'm going to dance.
I don't know. He was always kind of a slut.
No, baby. Yo, come on. Yo. You're not going to say.
I love that video.
Exactly. You're not going to say he was being a gentleman. Like, he might have still been a little horny because he was young, but like,
yeah,
he was being a gentleman. Those songs are a lot more gentleman. Like, baby,
right.
Chris Brown would have never stopped and looked at a girl's ass and stopped the music just for her to walk by. No, he was definitely living his Bad Boy era. And now the album that would have been more Bad Boy is Fame. I think that's what it's called. That whichever one Look at Me Now is on. That one, the songs began to be a little more bad. But he definitely kicked off exclusive Bad Boy era. So
okay.
There we go.
So then so those are your tops.
Those are my tops.
So I said my thing already about the warm-up eras, as I'll call them. But I have a one more thing I want to mention, which is the fake out. Some of these people are out here doing fake out bad girl, bad person eras, okay? And I'm going to call out too. I'm going to call out too. And I'm not even saying I don't like these albums or anything. I'm not saying that by any means. Actually, I love both of these albums, but they kind of got us. Taylor Swift's Reputation.
Okay.
And Ariana Grande's Dangerous Woman.
Okay.
They came in, they said, ooh, I'm about to get nasty and spicy and naughty. And then it was like, where? Bitch,
and
where?
You know what's really funny? Ariana, I think, slightly went there. Like, she very much so touched it.
I mean, like you could say the same for Taylor, because she had like, this is why we can't have nice things, and look at me, or look what you made me do. Like, yeah, she has some like moments, but like, girl, was that your bad girl era that you made it out to seem? No, because you're not a bad girl.
I think that, to me, I almost put this on there. Like, this is honorable mention. I think that Ari's bad girl era is somewhere in between Thank You Next and Positions. Ari just makes really like light pop music. So like none of her music ever sounds like the bad girl era, but Positions, Mama's was...
Yes. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, honey, she was not holding back.
Baby, I was like...
She did the math.
She said, baby,
she put the numbers
you're gonna
together.
need a seatbelt when I ride it. I was like, you're gonna what?
What's the line after that? Seatbelt when I ride it. I'm gonna leave it open like a door. Come inside like, it.
I was like, oh my God.
I felt bad just saying that out loud.
And it being like an Ari song, I was like, oh my God. She said, can she be more obvious? Tonight she trying to get nasty. Like, she said, baby.
I love that song.
So I say that Positions is Ari's like actual bad girl moment, but she played it really. I mean, She said switching positions, baby. A lot of the girls were like, oh, she's going to be in the kitchen and she's going to be like doing this. I was like, nah, baby, that's not what she's talking about. She tricked you girls. She tricked you girls with that music video.
She's good at it.
She tricked
She's
you
fucking
girls.
good at it.
But I was like, baby.
It just doesn't sound like it's giving that. But if you are listening to the word, like I remember when I sang that line, like I was singing it in the car while Gerald was driving, my roommate, and he said, and I was singing it louder than the track, like because the radio wasn't that high, and he was like gooped when he heard. He was like, "What did you say?"
Right.
I was like, "That's what she says." Like,
right.
Don't get mad at me.
Okay, so I do have a question before we move on to the next subject. What do you think that every bad girl, boy, person era needs? Like, what defines your
It
bad
needs
era?
some sex.
It needs some sex.
It needs a little bit of sex. And it needs a little bit of like owning the bad. Like, it's not about like being bad, but like avoiding the topic or anything. It's like it needs to be a little direct, a little like
it needs to be a little gritty. Like I think that, or it needs to be a little defiant, rebellious about something that maybe you were doing beforehand, and something that maybe people would look at you and be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she did that," but you're just owning it. It's like the confidence of like, I'm just doing this. And also to circle back to Miss Demi Lovato, I forgot why I put her as number one, because Demi Lovato is one of the very few white girls that did her bad era and did not need a rapper to help her.
Bitch, speak it.
And I'm saying it because every single one thing that I do not like in music is when white women decide, oh, let me put a rapper on my song, specifically like even a black man on the song, and that, there we go. Now I've got that edge. Now I'm a bad girl.
Right.
I'm a bad girl. And I've done the bad thing. No, Demi Lovato only used Iggy Azalea on one song for Kingdom Come, and that's barely saying a black rapper. But then she used Lil Wayne for Leave Me Lonely.
Iggy's not black at all.
Exactly. Then she said she used Lil Wayne for Leave Me Lonely, and that is more of a sad song than it is a bad girl song. So
absolutely,
Demi said, I don't need to do that. And I really appreciate that about her bad girl era. And like, to me, that speaks volumes, because most of these white girls that we've named have a black rapper, or, you know, it's just, we know. And it already just gets...
Not Miss Rena. Oh wait, she's not white.
Right. I was like, come on, it's okay. It's okay.
I just was so quick to do it. I just wanted to be there
like,
for
Miss
her.
Rena didn't. Miss Rena did. I understand. And that, and it's okay. She's correct. And that proves my point. Our PLCs, we don't need that.
Right.
But yeah, okay. Let's move on to our next topic. Should I go first this one? Okay.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The next one that I'm going to choose is the comeback era. This is like one of my favorite eras. I love a good comeback. I yearn for a good comeback. Like when an artist is not doing well and like it's just floppy-ana. I'm the one I have the hope. I always have the hope. Like deep down, I may even talk shit, but I always have the hope, because I'm like, I love a good comeback. Like I love a good comeback story. I love when the girls come back and they show you.
Hold on though, because a good deal of my comebacks are also not necessarily based on flops before, but just like a long time.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Between.
A long time, or even like floppy-anas, like both. I'm saying like I get excited about comebacks when when the odds have been against them, and also I should add on when the anticipation is built up.
This is where I think we're gonna have a lot of overlap.
Yeah,
this is the one I think
I almost want us to do. Like I almost want us to go back and forth on this one, just because. Okay. And I'm just hoping. I know you're gonna pick the one that is my number one. I know you're gonna pick the one that's my number one. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna keep waiting and go back and forth with you, and just.
It's probably my number one.
I know. I'm gonna leave my number one for last. And we'll just go back and forth until we finally.
So you don't want me to say what I think it is?
No. Okay. Let's go through a couple of them first.
Okay.
Let's just go through the entire list. Okay.
Well, you're going
I'm
first.
I'm going to go first. My first one on our second one on the list is none other than my baby girl. My baby girl SZA with SOS, the comeback of
That's on my list.
2022, baby. And let me tell you something. SZA said, "You girls asked for an album, and I gave you an album." And you know when I gave you an album in Mariah Carey's holy month of December, like she had the
Damn.
nerve. She had the nerve to
The
be like
nerve.
the nerve. She was like, you know what? I know that this is Queen Mariah's month, but you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you just how of a bad bitch I am, and I'm gonna drop during her month. Now I'm not gonna get that number one because All I Want for Christmas is not going to let that happen. But she was like, I'm going to drop, and you know what? A great album. Everybody was
And
loving.
she got it. She got her number
She
one
did.
eventually.
She eventually got her
and
number
then
one.
the album was number
The-
one
the album-
for
the album was number
7
one for
weeks?
10 weeks.
10
Baby,
weeks.
let's get these numbers correct because my girl works hard for
Please.
those numbers. And I was just like, you know
Yes.
what? Love. And Kill Bill has been lingering in the top 10. So I was like, a wonderful comeback. And the thing is, I know that she was nervous because I feel like the longer you wait, the more anticipation, the more that people just love Control. It's a classic. And like anytime SZA was featured on anything or she dropped even like the slightest bit of anything, everyone went back and listened to Control. And it was just like, how am I going to duplicate that success? So
Yeah.
SOS.
Okay. I actually have a lot on this list.
And it's fine. It's fine. Me too.
Okay. I would say, I'm going to say this because you already mentioned it, but you mentioned it in a different context. For me, Fame by Chris Brown is the comeback album because the scandal happened. He did terrible things. We all know. And then he released Graffiti anyway, and it was Floppiana.
It was, even though
it flopped very hard. It was like he
has some of the best songs that Chris Brown has ever made.
Oh, baby, I didn't say it was a bad album.
I know.
I didn't say it was a bad
I was
album.
just like, oh my God, Chris Brown did some of the best singing that he's ever done.
Right. He was emotional.
He was.
But Fame was like when some people started to like say, okay, because he was heavy on the performances. He was heavy on the videos. And honestly, to this day, the best Chris Brown album, if you ask me.
It is definitely one of the best.
It's
I think
so like diverse and he excels in every genre that he explores in that album. So it's just really cool. And I wish he would go back to making fucking albums that don't take 3 years to listen to. Next.
The actual truth. Oh, we miss experimental Chris Brown. Okay.
Yeah, but he's also kind of canceled, so it's like whatever. Give us a reason to drop you.
Cancel
I guess.
era forever. All right, my next favorite comeback is none other than my other baby girl, Adele. 25. Adele 25. 25 was her comeback because I
said 30.
And I knew you were going to say 30. And anytime, well, first of all, let's get this correct. Every single album is a comeback for Adele. Right. Let's get this correct.
30 came 6 years after
30 came
25.
6 years later, but 25 also came a couple of years after as well. And the reason I say that was her comeback era is because 25, Adele had the nerve. Like she had the nerve to be like, here's Hello. And then she was like, I'm going to make the album announcement. You girls have about a week before I take over the fucking charts. And take over the charts she did.
Right.
And then
does.
And then she had the dirty, downright audacious nerve. It either was for the single, Hello the single, or the album. That bitch said, fuck a streaming site. You girls are going to buy my shit. And then I'm going to release it on streaming sites. And the fact that she still got all of those sales, I was like, let me tell y'all something, and the girls can come for me all they want to. Nobody is selling like Adele. Your fave is not selling like Adele. Adele's accidental flop will always be more than your fave's highest numbers. I was just like, that for me was the reason I was like, that's Adele's comeback. Like, and it was when people weren't as, I don't think that people were in as much anticipation for 30 as they were for 25. I think people were definitely looking for 25 more and looking for Adele's next album more.
Yeah, because 21 was the big pop.
Right. And she also won so much awards, and it just was all that. So everyone was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And we know Adele, we know how she is, baby. Disappeared. She was nowhere to be found. Adele's not the girl that's going to do a feature. She's not the girl that's going to pop up every now and then. She's going to do her promo for the first 2 weeks of her album. She's going to drop a video or two. She's going to do her little tour, and then she's going to disappear. And she disappeared.
Right.
And so that's why I was like, I feel like 25 is more of, that's why I chose 25, because I almost chose 32.
I think honestly you could say it for either, and I totally understand the 25 argument. My 30 argument is really just a length of time, because 6 years is just unusual for anybody.
Right.
You know, like you said, she's a fucking ghost in between. So she's just, you know, and we didn't even think that it was going to be another age album.
Right.
We thought we were done with that.
We thought that we were. Do you think that we're going to get like a 35 or 37? Do you think she's going to be done with age albums? I think at this point she has to just keep doing it.
Oh, no, I think she's done.
I think she has to keep doing it.
I kind of feel like she's done because, like, once you're 30, it's not that you're like fully grown, but it's kind of like, it just kind of feels like 30 was like a mark for her that like, I am the woman I am now. And I kind of feel like she's going to be mostly this woman for the rest of her life.
And it also was the first album cover that she decided to do a much more colorful and bright type headshot. Whereas like 35, I mean, wow, I'm already saying it out loud. 25 was in what, like sepia or like some shade of green, olive green.
Yeah.
And then 21 was in black and white. And 19, it was in color, but she was so in the shadows. So it still was like very like darkish, but like 30 was like my bright ass background. My hair's down. It's not getting up to realness. And
it's 30. Like it's a round number. Like if it was me, I would stop.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like a really perfect conclusion to the age quadrilogy. I don't know.
Quadrilogy. Are you trying to say trilogy, but with the 4? Yeah.
But with 4, yeah.
Oh, girl, don't even try to get. We're not even gonna try quadrilogy. Quadrilogy, that's a lot.
I kind of like it.
I kind of do too. Adele, if you use this, we're suing. Okay, you go.
So then we have. God, I don't know which one to pick next. Okay, you know what?
Go for it.
Okay, Justin Bieber's Changes.
Okay.
Justin Bieber's Changes came 5 years after Purpose, and Purpose was like his best album, but also that was a different era for him.
Right.
And for this one to take 5 years was something also because like with the Purpose tour, like he kind of infamously like canceled a whole bunch of tour dates and was like, y'all, my mental health sucks. Like I don't even enjoy doing this. So it was like, is he coming back? You know? And he did with Changes, and Changes got like a lot of heat, but like
it did.
Fuck off. Cause like, I love that fucking album. Like I was looking at the track list and I was like, there's not a song on here I don't like.
Yeah, it was a pretty good album. That was the Changes was the album with the Get You song with Kehlani, right? Is that Changes?
Yeah, Get Me.
Yeah, Get Me. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Changes has great songs. The only like real complaint is that it does sound very like similar throughout the album.
Yeah, it sounds like one long song.
But it's a good song.
Right. And he's like singing very well on those songs.
Yes.
And I just really love when Justin Bieber does like the very lush, whispery voice. Like when he leans into that, I'm just like, I really love when he does that. So yeah, I agree. Changes was definitely a comeback album. Let me see which one of these. I only have 3 more.
I have 3 more too.
Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna go for one that I don't think you said. So the next one is Bruno's 24K Magic. I think that
almost made my list.
That's another one that made my list, and I just think that it was great. One thing that I love about Bruno's the king of this particular topic, eras. Bruno sticks to an era throughout the entirety of an album, and I was like, I absolutely love that. And so for this one, he really jumped to that New Jack Swing sound, like that very early, like our late 80s, early 90s sound. And I think that he had been gone for a hot little second. I can't remember how many years in between, but he had been gone for a hot little second.
I think it was 5.
Yeah, he had been gone for a hot little second. And one thing about Bruno that I'm noticing, people don't pay attention to Bruno until they pay attention to Bruno. Like, I feel like no one, when they hear this, they're going to be like, oh, that's right, Bruno Mars is like an artist. Because like, I feel like, and that's not in a shady way. I'm just saying like, he's not one of the people that have like a stand-up where like they will kill you if you say something bad about him, or like they're on the internet like terrorizing people. I just feel like people who love Bruno Mars just love Bruno Mars, and when he's gone, but when he's here, he's fucking here. And that was the album. Like 24K Magic did so well. That was also with he dropped Finesse with Cardi B. Like he had so much going on for him, and I just really,
that album is like, fucking perfect.
Just
it's perfect
from beginning to end. And a lot of Bruno's albums are like that. Like, let's get into it. Like Bruno, up until,
I mean, yes, but they weren't as perfect.
Right, they weren't as perfect as that.
Magic.
And I'm just like, I feel like give Bruno his flowers. Like, this is not my hot take, but like, give him his flowers, because I was like, I don't think that Bruno really has had a flop era. Like, I don't think that he's ever created an album and it just not be good. Like this album, like you said, 24K is the best, but like he does so well with like leaning into a sound and creating an atmosphere and an immersive moment within an album and within an era. So like that was my 24, or that was my other one.
Okay. My next one will be,
okay,
because I don't think it's on your list.
Okay.
Honey by Robin.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Honey came 8 years after her album Body Talk, which came before. Now Mama came back
with it. She came hard.
And that fucking album is just, oh God, it's fun. It's sexy. It's like a little slinky. Like it's just, it's all the best parts of Robin, but put into like a little bit more of a modern package. And she fucking ate. She's like, I don't care what age I am, which we also stand. Exactly. She came in, because I think she's in her 40s. I could be.
I think that she is too.
I hope I'm not like overshooting, because that would,
let's just say
people will be like.
Let's just say she's in like her late 30s, mid to late 30s.
I don't think she is.
Let's just say that, but let's just say that to cover our asses, because you know we can't be putting ages on women like that. We don't be doing it to the men. So like,
right.
She's 25.
Right. 25 and killing it in the game. Yeah, so I mean, I don't have much to say about that other than like, wow, she came back after really 8 years. Like that is a comeback.
All right, so this is my other one, and I'm not going to elaborate on why I say this until the next topic, and I'm just going to leave it there. My next one is none other than Miss Lady Gaga, Chromatica. And the reason why I say
yes.
Chromatica.
Sorry, I thought we were in the next era.
No.
Yes.
First of all, don't you ever try her like that.
I was confused. I was like, what do you mean? But yes, I almost put Chromatica for this too.
Listeners, you'll understand why I said that in the next few moments.
You're going to say exactly what I was going to say when I thought of it, because you're saying you're going to talk about it in the next era. I know exactly what the fuck you're going to say.
Yeah, it's a reason why, but also prior to Gaga.
A million reasons.
Right. You know what? You know what?
I got you, bitch.
You won that. You ate that up. No crumbs. You did the dishes. I mean, you put that in the dishwasher and put it back in the cabinet, ready for the next use. Like, you ate that one up. I can't even lie.
Shut up.
But yes, I'm just gonna say Chromatica. I'm glad that you agree. Yes. We'll talk about it more in the next section, but also to me, Gaga never really disappeared. Gaga is always doing something, because when she's not doing her pop girl thing, she's doing her jazz girl thing, and when she's not doing her jazz girl thing, she's doing her on screen thing. So like, Gaga is always working. That's one thing about it. A girl is about a bag. But this was the comeback of pop girl Gaga. Pop girl, kind of outrageous girl, like I am Lady Gaga in the way that you girls know me to be. And it was a successful album for me. Some people would disagree. It's a front to back. I can listen from the beginning to Chromatica all the way to the end of Chromatica. Wonderful, wonderful job. And we're going to leave it there.
I didn't feel that way immediately, but over time and listening to it more and more, it felt more and more right.
Yeah, I will say that. And I don't know if it's because of the music video, because of the Rain on Me music video, but like I just recently re-listened to Chromatica because it was like raining hard in New York. And I was stomping the wet ass pavement in that album. I was like, I don't know know if Chromatica is a rainy girl, like if that's what Chromatica's world is. But one thing about it, I am stumping it to every single track. So yes.
Yes. Okay. My next one.
Okay.
I don't know if this is your number one.
Okay, this is the last one.
Because I have 2 left. You have 1 left.
You have 2 left?
Yeah, because you went first.
Okay. All right. That's right. Okay.
So I don't know if this is
your second one.
Your number one is either this one or my number one.
Okay.
Britney Spears, Blackout.
Yes, but yes.
Blackout.
But yes. Blackout.
Listen, bitch.
There's not even much that needs to be said because if you girls disagree, you might as well just chop your ears off.
Late.
Chop your ears off.
You're late.
Because you don't deserve to use them anymore because you're not listening correctly.
Because Blackout is so ahead of its time.
Literally.
And obviously it's a comeback because we all know what was happening in Britney Spears' tragic life in that tragic moment. And she came back and opened this era with the most infamous performance to ever, and therefore the most iconic
most iconic. I'm just like, I'm sorry. That was the album. You cannot tell Teen Nate anything, baby. Give me more. Piece of Me.
See,
I still know every single word to Piece of Me down to this day.
What's the one was it Radar that she put on like 2 albums?
She
was like, no, y'all are gonna fucking
y'all are gonna listen to this
shit.
song and y'all are gonna eat.
Should.
Exactly.
Because it's fucking life. I was caught up in the like, you know, bad media, all of that shit that she was going through at the time. So at the time, I didn't get into the album,
right? But
my friend Khalil, who's like, you know Khalil, and he's such a music head, he always talked about how good it was. So eventually I went back in and I was like, bitch,
I jumped back in, and the thing is, I forgot. Like, I honestly forgot because I don't think I listened to the entire album when it first released. But I think I recently like went back to that. I fell into Britney Spears' Dark Hole, and I was like, let me go back to
not Dark Hole.
I call
Don't ever talk about Britney Spears' Dark Hole. I always
say a dark hole when I fall into any like artist, and I'm just going deep into their discography. It's not a bad thing. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad hole to be in.
I'm just saying you can't use the word hole so loosely.
Oh my god.
That's all
okay, we're not gonna make this about holes, all right? We're not going to.
You did it first.
I fell into a Britney Spears tunnel. Okay, there we go.
I could still,
no. I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, we're moving on.
Keep the receipt so you can return it, bitch.
Moving on. Okay.
Top, your number one.
Time has come.
It's the same.
Is it the same? I don't think it's the same.
It's gonna be the same.
Oh my god,
absolutely
it's not the same. I'm scared to say it.
Should we do it like a countdown?
No, because I feel like the lag is gonna be off. Let's just do the countdown. Let's do it. Okay. No.
Wait. Okay. We're gonna do the countdown. Are we saying the album or the artist first?
Let's say the artist first, because if we say the same artist, then I know.
Then we know.
Okay. I'm so scared. Okay. You do the countdown.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Mariah Carey.
Oh Carey. Yes.
Oh my god.
What's wrong with us? No, but very.
The queen of a comeback. I'm sorry, there is no, and I was even looking at different, like the history of comebacks in music, and I'm like, I'm sorry, and maybe because I wasn't alive or I wasn't like coherent at the time, but I don't think anyone has had a strong of a comeback as Miss Mariah Carey when she dropped that goddamn Emancipation of Me.
Man,
I was like, no, hands down, the top comeback album and comeback era of the goddamn decade. I was just
every single was in everyone's iPod.
And it was just like, it also, here's the thing. Mariah Carey doesn't have a quote unquote bad girl era. Like, she doesn't do that. She's too classy. She's a diva. She's not doing that. But Emancipation of Mimi definitely felt like the more edgy side of Mariah. That was the first time she was like, you know what? I'm going to step away from the standing at a microphone with a gown on. Will I still have a gown on? Yes, but I'm going to be laying on your bed. I'm going to show a little more cleave. I'm going to she was definitely stepping into an entirely different sound, or a more realized sound as well. And I'm just like, every beat, every lyric, every song, like it was just something so new for Mariah. And like she had been gone for a moment, and she was a 90s artist, and like we need to really double down on that and realize Mariah was in the game mid early 90s. Like the girls were not seeing success in the 2000s. The 90s girls were not seeing the type of success that
Sorry, my cat is trying to like jump on the butt. Don't do it, Mina.
The girls were not seeing the type of success that Mariah Carey saw in the 2000s. Her song, We Belong Together, was just unseated by Lil Nas X, just unseated by Old Town Road. But I'm like, I believe, what was it, 19... I think it was 19 weeks at number 1.
I think so.
And I'm just
like... It was 19
like,
or 18.
It was one of those two. The longest running number 1 in the history. And I'm just like, that was amazing because Glitter had just fell through. Like people, Glitter was floppy.
And she had her breakdown moment, kind of just like Britney Spears had gone through. Not quite as bad, but
not quite as bad, but pretty bad still.
Pretty bad. And it was just like, for me and the time it came in my life, and I'm sure it's similar for you. But I didn't know, like, I knew Mariah Carey songs, but I didn't know they were Mariah Carey songs. So this was the first time that I'm like, who's Mariah Carey? And I'm listening to We Belong Together, and I'm listening to Don't Forget About Us, Shake It Off. And I'm like, these are Mariah? And again, my friend Khalil, his top artist is Mariah. He's obsessed with her.
Khalil, we love her. We love you, Khalil.
And so he would be like, okay, well, this song, he'd sing a song from, her earlier shit. And I'd be like, oh, I know that. Oh, I know that.
Exactly.
Oh, I know
it was
that.
One of those things where it's like, you knew who Mariah Carey was. You just didn't know who Mariah Carey was yet.
Right. But when she came back and put that stamp down, it was like, it was for the next generation. It was like, oh, y'all know who I am, but y'all are going to put some respect on my name too.
Up until now. It's just like, the fact that you can say Mariah Carey to Gen Z, and Gen Z is just like, oh, we know who that is. Now they may not know her or like, she's not
her
as beloved.
Discography.
I feel and I feel like she's not as beloved as what our generation would be for her. But even if we want to continue to talk about a goddamn comeback.
No, wait, because that's where I was gonna fucking go. That's where I was gonna fucking go.
Go ahead.
It's in parentheses. Also, caution.
Exactly.
Caution.
She came back.
Because that came like 8 years after Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel, I think it was. And in between, she had The Art of Letting Go.
So it was Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel. Then it was Me, I Am Mariah.
Me, I Am Mariah. Art of Letting Go was a song on there.
Right.
Me, I Am Mariah. And that was for nobody but the deepest fans.
Right.
And I say that with no shade.
Tyler, you know that it was a long time before, because I specifically remember, this is a core memory that I actually love and I think about every once in a while. I remember when she first dropped that album, we were in the car, and we were in college. We were in the car, and I asked, let's just listen to the first track. Like, let's just listen to the first track, and then we'll listen to the rest of it later. And we listened to the first track of that album in your car, and I was like, oh my God. I know you don't remember, but I remember because of Mariah Carey, and I remember every single moment that I've listened to her songs.
Oh my God.
Queen Mariah, I'm a part of the Lamb. I'm a lamb. I'm a precious lamb. So if you girls try to get in the comments, say anything about her, I will attack you.
Yes, but to wrap it all up, Caution absolutely came back. She did it again with the fucking relevant sound, a sound that young people today can put on and go, oh, that sounds like today. And she's like in her late 20s.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
That's
like
my cat.
And
my camera's
also,
bouncing.
Yes, bounce. But, and also, it's not really a comeback, but like, I'm also giving her a shout out because All I Want for Christmas is so old, and it got to number 1, and now it's always a number 1 during the Christmas year.
Now she comes back every fucking year,
just
like Santa Claus.
Comeback motherfucking queen, the comeback queen. And It's a Rap came onto the Hot 100 because the girls are bringing the comeback queen. She doesn't even need to make new music because her old shit's gonna get to number 1. Anyways, moving on, because I can talk about Mariah Carey all day, and I will talk about her all day, and you will respect her. All right.
Okay, so now the next era, the final era we're going to talk about, aside from some one-offs, is the flop era.
Okay.
The flop era. Now listen,
right.
Flop era does not necessarily mean it was a bad album.
Exactly.
Not by any means.
Exactly.
Flop era just goes off of, did it perform to the expectations based on the artist's previous work and the artist's reputation? Did it perform the way that we had all anticipated? Probably not.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about today. So I'm going to go from bottom to top this way again.
Okay. I only have 3, and I've already mentioned it.
Okay, I have 4.
Okay.
My first actually is going to be combined.
Okay.
And it goes for Bionic, Christina Aguilera.
Oh, I forgot
also
about Bionic.
Liberation, but more so Bionic. Even though Bionic performed a little better than Liberation, but Bionic is a really great album. And
really
it's actually
is.
like, it's a staple of my high school experience because me, the guy I was dating at the time, and Khalil, we drove that album into the fucking ground.
Right.
We were over here saying, woohoo, all over the motherfucking place. Okay. We were Not Myself Tonighting. And she gives some amazing vocals on that fucking album.
Prima.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Let's Get Glam.
Yes.
Like,
honestly,
bitch, she came through. She switched up so many sounds and like really excelled on them. I think it was a little bit too like diverse and disparate for the time. And it was definitely like a different move for her. So people didn't really know what to do with it. But it's a great album. Like, it stands.
Yeah, I definitely loved Bionic. It was definitely one of her most slept on eras and slept on albums. Like you said, not as much as Liberation, because I feel like there were some songs in that album that I was like, okay. But
but Liberation still deserved a little more than it got.
Right. Most definitely. My next one, we were just talking about it, so I might as well go ahead and bring it up again. Is going to be Glitter with Mariah Carey, which arguably Mariah Carey was doing some of the best singing of her goddamn life. The longest note that she's ever held was on that album. And it wasn't even, people like to say it was the longest note that she ever held. Baby, it was not held on one note. She was moving notes. It's Never Too Far Away. She literally held that note at the end and changed the note. And I was like, no. Never Too Far Away isn't it? It's the, what's the name of the song? No, it's Leaving Me Right Now.
I don't know that song.
Never Too Far Away?
I'm just kidding. No, Leaving Me Right Now.
Honestly, it may be on the next album. I have to end. Let me stop. Oh my God.
Don't come lying to the kids.
I can't remember the name of the song, but I will put it in the show notes. I'll make sure it's in the show notes because it's a riff that she does, and then like she's holding the note as well. And it's a video. People know what I'm talking about because it's a video of her singing it, and she ends up getting so lightheaded after she held the note that like she's in the studio, and then she like, after she's done singing it, she like sits down because it was just like,
bitch,
I did that shit. So like,
there's no oxygen in
exactly. And one thing that I will say during the pandemic, the Lambily, we were just like, we started Justice for Glitter because it really like hurt her heart that album didn't do well and it wasn't received well. And so we started Justice for Glitter, and we were buying it up and listening to it like, come on, girl, like y'all need to get into it because Glitter was that girl. And it really was. So like,
honestly, I'd have to go back and listen. I don't think I've ever listened to Glitter.
I know, because most people didn't. And it
has a reputation.
Right. So, but that was that was one of mine.
My next one would be The Pandemic, but basically the album to usher in the pandemic. 3:15:20 by Childish Gambino. Now, people like to act like this album never fucking came out. People don't know what the hell I'm talking about right now. They are gooped. They are saying, what? 3:15:20? And that's like, there's a couple reasons.
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Well, so there's just a couple reasons, and I think one of them is that like the tracks were all titled by just like timestamps, because it's the concept of the album is that it's all one song and you're just listening to different moments in it, which I really love because it's just, it came through really successful in my opinion. But also then it was hard to like fucking say what track you're talking about. I still don't know what my favorite tracks are.
Yeah. I just go, my favorite tracks are like, I just sing the song or I just say, oh, it's this song.
Right. Right. Oh, wait, hold on. What's the one? What's the one? It's talking about dancing.
Mine is
It's talking about
Algorithm. One of
that's the only. Yeah, that's the only
that
one with
has
the
a
name. What's the? Do you know what?
you have to like
I
say a
have to look it
word
up.
or something.
I have to look it up.
Well, while you're looking it up, I will say that one of my favorites from the album is "Why Go to the Party? Why Go to the like." Wow.
Why go to the party at all
when you're not invited? I might listen to that when we get off.
I know it's fucking good, and it's just like no one.
And I also think
knows
that
about
Childish
it.
Gambino is a little like. Where does it go?
I found it. Little foot, big foot,
Get out the way.
Yeah, I will show y'all how to move this. Yeah, yes. I love that song.
And I also think that people were also freaking out about the pandemic. Like people were just freaking out about the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
So
because it literally, I mean, look, that's the date.
Right.
3/15/20.
Exactly.
Like, babe, we literally went to lockdown like a day before.
And I remember like posting it on my story, being like, leave it to Childish Gambino to talk about the end of the world while the end of the world is happening. Like,
bitch, he started it.
Right.
Let's just be
and
real.
I'm just like, he's great. Like, I love that. And I was like, I just think it also was just an experimental, like, weird sound. And like, people don't do well with those type of things. So like,
and with like no promo.
Right.
No promo.
He just doesn't do that. So, yeah, I agree. Definitely agree. All right. I'm ready to be attacked for this one. And I'm just letting y'all know that you can attack me and you can say everything you want. The numbers do not lie. My next flop era is none other than Miss Nicki Minaj, Queen. And Barbs, before you come after me, I am not saying that the album was not good. I'm not saying that it wasn't the strongest album, but what I am saying is that it did not come through the way that it needed to. There was a lot of floppy songs that came onto the Hot 100 because she is Nicki Minaj. She's Nicki Minaj, and she's always going to hit on Hot 100, but they slipped right out, some of which she doesn't even acknowledge anymore. Like, she doesn't perform. She acts like they don't exist.
Also, she did not push Good Form hard enough. That's one of her best songs she's ever put out.
Good Form should have been the leading single, and I will say it until I'm fucking blue, black, and green in the face.
Because her lead single wasn't even on the album.
The lead single, one of them weren't, but the second one was.
Right.
And for good reasons. And I would like to say, I went back to it, somebody tweeted it, and they were just like, I think that, or now that the Nicki hate train has died down, and the hype around that has died down, can we go back and acknowledge that Queen is a good album? I knew that Queen was the best album that Nicki has put out, in my opinion, when I listened to it. She was doing some of her best rapping on that album. LLC. First of all, Barbie Dreams alone. Barbie Dreams alone is annihilation to the game. Not only did she do that callback to Biggie Dreams, but then at the end, she said, "Oh, you guys thought I was done? No, I'm taking a sip of my water and I'm about to put my foot on this gas and crash into you hoes."
Right.
I was like, she went back into Roman Zelensky. Like, she dug deep back into that bag and was like, let me show y'all girls that I can still rap. I am the queen of rap. Like, I'm rapping down. But
she did.
It just was really just because of controversy and because of the beef with Cardi. Like, just because of so much of that going on, the album just did not do well. People like are like, oh, nobody talks about Queen or whatever. It just didn't do well.
I mean, just to be like transparent, like, I'm not trying to be a hater, but she was just putting so much negative energy out there during this, where it could have been about the music, and it feels like it was about everything else.
Exactly. So,
but it's a great album. Like, there are some songs on there that I have not saved, and because I don't enjoy them. But the bulk of it, like the good bulk of it, is actually pretty strong.
Right. Like I said, she's just doing some of her best rapping there in that album. So
that's a good pick.
Yes, that's my second one.
Okay. So now next up, I have The Big Day by Chance the Rapper.
Oh, yeah.
Now, people wanted to tear this apart when it came out.
I forgot about The Big Day.
For a second, I was a part of that. I was like, where's nasty, raunchy Chance? Like, where's the crazy, fun Chance? And you know what? I kept fucking listening, and I was like, maybe not as crazy. Not, he's not doing the same drugs anymore. We know that.
Right.
But
we don't do the shame.
thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
We're charging y'all for the next time.
Exactly.
Next time that comes out of Nate's mouth, it's gonna be on the
because
Patreon.
it literally it's inevitable. I will be doing it again.
But yes, that album, you know, it's softer. Yes, it's about like getting married and everything, but it's so cohesive.
Mhm.
I love listening to that. Like if it's like a nice weather day, you put that shit on, like that shit will
Mhm.
put you in a good mood. Like it's different, but you just
Mhm.
have to like give it time. You have to get into it and warm
Right.
it up and soak into it because it really is a really good album. And it's kind of
Come
like
on. What is it? Hot Shower, I think it's called.
Hot Shower, and even look at you balling flossing. Yeah, look at you balling flossing.
I'm like, come
Hey.
on, like y'all are tripping. Like this album eats. So
Oh my god. Speaking of, this is I'm gonna say this quick because I'm bitching balling flossing, and that's Shawn Mendes. I meant to mention that's someone who needs a bad boy era.
He needs
Shawn Mendes
one
needs a bad boy era.
Oh, that's what we should have asked. Like, who needs a bad boy era? Because Shawn Mendes needs one. Like, I think it's time.
One.
Like, you've
like,
done...
and he tried with like Monster a little bit, and it was like, but you're not a monster,
right? And that's the
you're
thing.
not a bad boy.
And even with is that the song with Justin Bieber? Yeah, I was just like, first of all, nobody's putting you on a pedestal. No one is saying that you this, and that. That song literally should have just been Justin Bieber. And I was like, you're standing next to Justin Bieber, probably arguably one of the most problematic white boys in the industry, one of them. And you're talking about you're a monster? No, baby. Standing next to Justin Bieber, baby, you're Bill. You are Bill.
Right.
Like,
I'm just saying, like, get naked, kiss someone's hips.
Come on, like, wet
do something.
shirt, tear out of a shirt, like something. Do something. And I'm honestly hoping that that's the next era will be that. It probably won't be because he's just like, I'm gonna be good. Like, no, it's time. It's time. He definitely needs
Yeah,
one.
it doesn't seem like he wants to go that route, but I hope he does.
Like, he really does. Okay, I think is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I love my girl down, but the next flop era that we need to address is Lady Gaga's Joanne.
Wait, because it doesn't start at Joanne. It doesn't start at Joanne, and you know that very well.
No. I'm going to stick to Joanne, and the reason why I'm going to stick to Joanne is after I explain it, I will go back to the other album that everybody likes to shit on. Joanne was Joanne. This album was for Lady Gaga. It was for her
and me. Apparently, it's one of my favorites.
I loved it. I have most of the songs saved from it. I love a good Million Reasons moment. I loved Perfect Illusion. People really did not like Perfect Illusion. I'm not entirely sure why. I enjoyed it. I love Hey Girl, or I love Come to Mama. Like, it's a great album, but the girls just really were not trying to let Gaga cook in her country bag, like country adjacent bag. They were just really Gaga. Please give us pop, girl. Like, can you?
Which is crazy because You and I is one of her best songs.
Hello?
So how are you gonna act like she can't come in and take the country lane by storm?
I'm just like, okay. They were just like, we want outrageous Gaga, because I had already told people that. And I wish I would have recorded it back then. I was like, because Gaga was that outrageous girl. Like, she was the extra girl. She was wearing all the extra fashions or whatever. And everyone was like, oh my God, what is Gaga going to wear? What is she going to wear? What is she going to wear? And then everybody started to be an extra. Everybody started doing more elaborate stuff. And I told the girls, I was like, now watch. Next album, Gaga's going to wear a t-shirt and jeans. And if I be damned if that's what she was wearing in Perfect Illusion. I literally said that. I was like, she's gonna stop because it's gonna become taboo, and she's gonna be like, nah, I'm different from the other girls. Y'all are late. I'm tired of that now. So I enjoyed Joanne, but leave it to most people. They're just like, girl, please don't bring Joanne up. We don't acknowledge. And then we want to go back because I know you are itching to talk about art pop. And I, first of all, would like to acknowledge that art pop has many singles that did well. That's number one. And number two, it was also a moment in the pandemic that was a justice for art pop moment. And I will even say, and I was going to wait because I know we're gonna do like our extra talk at the end, but I'll talk about it now. I would like to say art pop was just ahead of its time. Like it was too experimental for the time that we were in. Gaga's always been ahead of her time. And I went back to listen to it. And while still some of the songs I'm like, it doesn't like curl over for me. I listened again in 2022 and I was like, why did I not like this song? Like this song is good. Like what's wrong with this song? And
I'd have to go back to it, but it never.
you have
There's
to
like I could think of like 4 or 5 off that album that I like, and that's just not enough.
you have to go back and listen to it because I went back and listened to it with one of our mutual friends and we both were going through like, okay, because now some of the shit that's on there sounds like what's playing today. Like
Right.
literally a lot of the stuff that is playing now is just like, oh, if she would have just waited maybe a couple of more years, people were not ready for that in the early 2000s. Like they were just like, she's weird, she's weird, she's weird. This is crazy. What is she doing?
Well,
I don't
it wasn't
understand
early
it.
2000s. It was late 2000s.
It was early
We
enough.
were in college.
It was early
It
enough.
was like 2000. Like, hold on. No, what are you
It was
talking about?
early enough for people.
It's literally in the 2010s.
It literally, I still think it was closer to the early 2000s, and people just were not ready for that, for experimental sounds. Everybody
What?
wanted a very cookie cutter pop sound. So like, that's why I
Look,
said
I'm not disagreeing with you, but except for the fact that it's not the 2000. It's the 2010s. It's early 2010s. No, not like it's a year. Like it's a date. It's a date.
I'm gonna say that the industry was still leaning to the early 2000s sound. Then that's what I will say. The girls were not ready to make a change.
Early 2000s was like fucking in sync. Like, what are you talking about?
Tyler, literally,
Like, we're talking 2002, 2001. Like, girl, that's.
I will say, I'm okay. Let me rephrase that. The industry was still in the 2000s sound in general. They had not fully moved into the 2010 sounds of the pop girl. So like they just
Okay.
were not ready for anything that was too far away from that sound there.
Okay. That makes sense now.
I feel like you knew exactly what I was saying to begin with. And
I
you were
really
just like,
didn't. I would not.
and you were just
no,
like,
I would not.
I'm just
I would
gonna,
not
I'm
do
just
that
gonna
just
keep
to
embarrassing
fucking
him.
stir
Yes, you
shit up.
did.
No,
you did. You absolutely
no.
did. And it's okay. We have to have some type of discord in order for us to get the publicity. So go ahead.
Okay. All right. Yeah, fine. I read you.
All right,
bitch.
go into your next flop era.
Okay, last one. Again, I can't say this enough. Like, not at all a bad album. I love this album. Solar Power by Lorde. Now, y'all slept, napped, and slept again. But baby, Lorde and her psychedelic ass, funk ass, well, I guess hardly funk, but just like funky groovy. Like, she just, girl, like, I love that album. I think she really came through with that album. It's about the lyrics, baby. Like, you got to listen to these motherfucking lyrics. And it's kind of always been that way with Lorde. Melodrama was a lot more exciting of production, and arguably her debut as well. But Solar Power, it was a step in another direction. A lot of people, it lost them. But I'm always here for Lorde. And I went and saw that tour, and it's one of my favorite performances I've ever seen. She like gave such a beautiful production. And so y'all let it flop, but you should have let it top.
We did. I definitely.
You're taking ownership.
I definitely was narcoleptic whilst drinking NyQuil. And that's where we
Go
release.
listen.
And that's what we do. That's what we would. Oh, I didn't say that I didn't listen. What I said is that I was narcoleptic and I also took NyQuil.
Okay. Well, maybe you need to listen again.
Maybe
You're
I
telling me to
will
listen to
because
Glitter and Art
maybe
Pop.
I will. Maybe I will because you know what? Maybe she was ahead of her time. I'll give her that.
It was giving. It's giving like her Fleetwood Mac era.
Okay, we'll go back and listen again. I remember seeing some videos of her, it was her like doing her thing, doing her weird thing.
She wasn't very weird in the show. I
this was
there.
the one when she, first of all, let's not, is Solar Power?
This is not when she was, no, that was a miscommunication. People thought that the whole like shush, shush, shush thing was during that tour. It wasn't even that tour. It was a different tour.
I'm not talking about that,
Oh,
but
what
that
are you
moment is
talking
funny.
about?
Isn't Solar,
that movie,
isn't
that
this,
moment is hilarious.
Isn't that the era where she was in the woods singing the song and she was just like,
Yes, that fucking 8.
Yes.
That fucking 8.
Yes. I know. I know my eras. I know my eras. But okay.
I love Lord. Okay. Honorable mentions to the like little one-offs. I kind of only have one. I only have one I really want to shout out because then we got to still get to our hot take.
I know
cool take.
it was so. Oh my god. We have okay.
You can go first.
I have like a couple of one-offs.
First.
Number one, I forgot to go over a comeback. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but Jasmine Sullivan, Hotels. It was a great comeback.
Preach.
People slept on her so much, and then she finally got the recognition that she's been deserving. Number two, one of my subcategories is like the redemption / I know that I've been bad moments and like reflective. So we have Miley Cyrus, Younger Now.
Okay, that
goes
was
into that
was
era.
a unsuccessful.
It was an unsuccessful like
moment in that,
right?
Like, yeah,
but she definitely was trying to
era.
give. She was definitely still trying to give like I know I was a bad girl, and now
she was.
I'm in Malibu. I have my brown wavy hair again, and I'm not.
I got my
doing
country
that.
twang.
Right, I'm not doing that anymore. And then we have the successful one, which was Justin Bieber's Purpose. Purpose is arguably Justin Bieber's best album.
And the redemption. I will never forget that album coming out because my brother, who's like this like macho aggressive, just like okay.
Yeah. I know where you're going.
He turned to me after that album came out and he was like, "Oh yeah, Justin Bieber's killing it right now." And I was like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" Because I got made fun of all my life. I was always a believer. Okay, bitch. I was listening to One Time, his first single, One Time, on MySpace,
right,
where it was released. Okay, I've always been a believer, so I was always getting the hate. Everybody was always talking about how he sounds like a girl. And I was like, girl, shut the fuck up. Even if he does sound like a girl, he sounds like a girl that sings well. So now moving on, I could not believe like those words came out of my brother's mouth. It felt like so fake. I was like, who are you? Like, there's no way you're saying this. But that proves how successful that era was. Like, he brought in many new fans.
I was one of those people that was just like, I cannot stand the Believers. And if I had a chance, I'd punch them and run. But that was the one. And I talked to you about it and I was like, damn, not even gonna lie. Purpose eats. And then he just, the whole era ate. And I was just like, it must have been this blonde little long piece of hair in front of his face.
Not my favorite hairstyle, but
it was not. It wasn't. But something in that hairstyle was in the music.
It was part of the recipe.
Right. So I agree. That's it. I don't think I have another. My
quick shout out actually also goes to Justin Bieber. So he's got a lot of shout outs. He's got eras, bitch. My shout out to Justin Bieber.
Damn.
For the fuckboy era, and that is Journals. Okay, Journals. First of all, too slept on. Y'all, I could have put it in the flop era because y'all. What was that?
I just ended up. My headphones hit the microphone on accident.
Because okay, he released it weird where he released like a song at a time. Like he released a new song each week and then put it all together at the end. So he released the whole album before the album came out. But it's the first time Justin Bieber said, okay, I'm going to do R&B, which made sense because if you watched his YouTube videos that made him famous, he was always singing R&B songs. So it was like, finally, we're going to take this, thing that y'all have tried to turn into a pop machine, and successfully did. Right. But like, let's bring him back to what his voice excels at. And Journals was so fucking good. And it gives fuckboy because he's like talking about like he's crooning and he's like, oh baby, don't you love me? Like I miss you so much. Like, oh, why'd you have to leave me? Like, but also like he's behaving like terribly at this time. This era is why Purpose had to be a redemption era because he was acting like a fucking dumbass.
A fucking crazy mess. Every time you heard Justin Bieber, it was not for a good reason.
He was peeing in mops and or mop buckets. Like it was
spitting
so
on
stupid.
People.
It was so stupid. It was like, you're such a child, and which he was. And it's just.
He needed some attention.
Fuckboy era Journals. Go listen to Journals because regardless of what was going on at that time, that still eats. And me and my friend Khalil have conversations all the time where we have to go back. Like we just like, all right, but is journals better than purpose, or is purpose better than journals? I always come around to purpose, but it's close, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're done.
Hot take, cold take, hot take, cold take.
All right, Tyler, what is your hot take this week?
My hot take? Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll go first. Drake needs to sit down. Drake needs to sit down. And this came to me because I was writing out my picks for the comeback era, and I said Drake needs a fucking comeback. Drake needs a fucking comeback. But he will never get a Drake. We'll never get the fucking comeback because
you're just like he always saturates the market.
He's always here.
And I never realized that until you actually said it to me a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I mean, no, Drake is not always here. And then I was like, oh wait, I don't remember the last time I haven't heard Drake.
Always. I mean, listen, like we got
he drops
views.
an album every 6 months.
Yeah, we got views, and then very quickly after that, we got what's the mixtape with the passion fruit and what? See, there's too many. I can't even remember the names.
But I can see what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
Passion fruit was my song.
Oh yeah, no, it had great, but I'm saying that came, then that came really quickly, and then we got Scorpion, which is actually before Scorpion. I think we got Care Package, which was like all his old shit repackaged. Oh yeah, and then we got fucking
then we got
Scorpion, which was a double album, so it was enough for 2 years. And then we got fucking there was something.
Wasn't it like a little EP or something that he did?
Yeah, there was some. I think it was another mixtape, and I was like, I'm fucking not. I think I listened to it once, and I was like, absolutely not. And then we got Certified Lover Boy, which ran for 300 minutes, and then we got fucking Honestly Nevermind, and then months later we got fucking Her Loss, and then just like a week or two ago, he's like, I got another single, and I'm like, you have to fucking stop.
That's true, because Certified Lover Boy just happened. I was just like, wait.
Just stop. Because listen, like, and this is for every artist, like when you oversaturate yourself, like think about your legacy at the end of the day. Right. You just cannot have like 900 great songs. You just fucking can't. You have to have some editing and some selection. And at the end of the day, when Drake is long gone, like, there's going to be so much fat in the fucking discography.
And I think at some point it was just like, okay, this is fine because they're hitting. But then it was like, now you're not even giving us a chance to like actually relish in a project.
Because even in between those, there were like random ass like singles and the Scary Hours shit. Like he just won't stop. And it's like, give us a chance to miss you and give yourself a chance to go and come up with something new, which surprisingly, Honestly Nevermind was something new for him.
It was, but it just...
It was just, I mean, I've come around to that album a lot, but at the same time, it's just like, but you're just so random with this shit. Like, you're just dropping just to drop. Like, have some fucking finesse, have a little bit of like, hold some cards to your chest and like give us some time to breathe and go, where's Drake? Wait a minute. I need some new Drake, because all that's happened is that people have become haters. And that's what happens when you oversaturate yourself. You're going to be putting out music that is not top quality, that is not the quality you became the star you are today for. And people are going to start becoming haters and they're going to start falling off. So obviously, look, I get it. I'm broke. He's rich. I can't tell him what to do. Yada, 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 yada. But I'm just saying,
he should take a break.
As a listener, this is very much how I feel. Like,
we have enough. We have
enough. Like, please just
material
let us
to just like not hear anything from you for a while.
Give us 5 years. Like, fucking do some Adele shit. Give us like 5 years. But let also, people be like, where's Drake at? Maybe he's afraid he'll be too old then. I don't know.
It's not like rappers are doing anything on stage anyway. So you can sit there in a wheelchair if you need to, and the people still accept you.
2 Chainz.
Exactly.
But that was iconic.
So my hot take is that remixes have become less exciting and artistic and more of a random, unnecessary business move to get streams. I feel like
you did not just come up with a thesis. That was a fucking thesis. I haven't heard a sentence like that since junior year of high school in fucking AP English. Like, what? Can you say it again? Please say it one more time.
It's because I have it on my notes. Like,
I know. I saw you reading it, but I need you to say it again.
Oh my God. I literally said, the people can literally just rewind, but it says, remixes have become less exciting and artistic and more of a random, unnecessary business move to get streams.
Damn, girl. Speak on it.
Begins and ends there. Like, when is the last time that you heard a remix that really, like, you really were like, oh my God, like, I needed this remix. Like, this remix definitely went the fuck off.
Well,
and we're not talking about, a remix that's just like, oh, this is good. This is like, what is a remix that you listen to that you rather listen to the remix than the original? What's the last one?
Savage.
Correct. That's another one. I knew that one was going to come up.
I was also gonna say, I've been in my like house remixes bag, and so that's
house remix. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right, it's different.
I'm not talking about a DJ's remix.
No, I know what you mean. You mean like bringing on a feature.
Because when is the last time a feature was actually needed on a remix? Because it was a time where like when somebody was doing a remix, it was like, oh shit, like, oh my God. Like, can we just go all the way back to Busta Rhymes with the Touch It remixes?
Bitch.
To this day, every now and then I'll go back and I'll be like, let me just listen to the Touch It remix real quick. Like,
if you have all day, it's fucking long as shit.
Like, back then, it was just like, oh, you know what? We about to up the ante. Like, we're about to really go in and like have y'all be like, oh, fuck this.
They had a whole family reunion on a track.
Right. There's some tracks that like some remixes where I'm just like, I'd rather listen to this remix, or I enjoy the remix just as much as I enjoy the original. But I'm just like, again, love my baby girl SZA, love her down. And I said this on my story. Love everything. I love her to pieces, and I'm going to fucking stream down. But I was just like, we didn't need the Doja remix. We didn't need Doja on Kill Bill.
You're so right. Like, I really can't think of recent ones
like,
that
I understand, and I don't even believe that maybe SZA made that decision because she doesn't seem like that type of artist. I know that the record label wanted that number one. They wanted her to be able to say she got a number one album and a number one song, but I just didn't understand because I'm just like, Kill Bill, you can start, you hear that, dun, 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 and everyone's gonna be like, oh my God! Like, people know Kill Bill. Like, it already had made it such a big impact, and I just hate it because it takes away from like the validity and like the initial excitement of just like, I got this number one. Was I still excited? Yes. Did I still stream Kill Bill? Yes. Do I really know Doja's verse? No, because I only listened to it like 2 times. And did Doja do a bad job? No, she did a great job. It was a different sound for Doja that I really enjoyed, but I just didn't understand the remix. So that's my thing. That's my hot take.
That's a good one. That is a good one, and I agree with that. I'd be curious to hear from people who disagree. I would be curious, like, what they would point to.
Right.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Go to cold take.
Oh, okay. So my cold take is Lovers and Friends Fest is OP this motherfucking year. OP. That shit is overpowered. Okay. And it will be the festival of the year because I've seen the lineups. The lineups have come out for all these festivals now. And listen,
no one's coming out like that.
I'm going to try my best to wrap this up quick. And I know you know this story, but I have to tell the story for the podcast. Okay. So I went to Lovers and Friends Fest last year. That was the first year, and it was crazy. The lineup was fucking crazy. You know, we had Nelly, Sierra, Usher, Ludacris, and Lil Jon all performing together. We had Lauryn Hill, we had TLC. It fucking went in. Okay. I'm not trying to say it didn't, but I am trying to say that it was 103 degrees. 103 degrees in Las Vegas.
Heard the horror stories.
Open ass air, no shade, like. And it was just crazy. Like, it was also the first year they put it on. So they didn't have everything all together. And, there was also like a whole shooting thing that there wasn't a shooting in the festival, but people thought there was a shooting. So there was a stampede. Like, Lovers and Friends Fest was crazy last year. Like, we went through the trenches, and now the bitches this motherfucking year, I checked the weather. It said the high is 73. It said the high is 73. These bitches are going to be chilling in the cool breeze, listening to Missy Elliott, Mariah Carey, 50 Cent, Chris Brown, Usher, fucking like
fuck me.
and they're just gonna be sitting there like they have no idea,
enjoying it.
They have no fucking idea.
Damn it!
what
I knew I
went
should have got those
through.
tickets. I knew it. I knew it.
Bitch, next year I'm getting the tickets and then I'm checking the weather, and if
Regardless.
it's hot, I'll sell them. But I swear
right.
to God, I didn't get them because last year was so crazy, and like
Oh my
y'all, I had to
God.
go like sit. They had nowhere with AC, so they brought in buses from the National fucking Guard, and they were running
That
AC
was
on these
crazy.
buses.
Yeah.
The AC on the buses was probably hitting you at like 88 as opposed to fucking
Damn.
103. It was hot on the bus. You had to wait to get on the bus. These motherfuckers are gonna be chilling in the cool breeze.
In the cool
I
breeze.
can't.
Dang.
Like the high is 73.
Mhm.
Not even Coachella has weather like that.
Right.
Like all these festivals, not only does the lineup not touch the likes of Mariah Carey and Missy Elliott, but
Mhm.
y'all are gonna be hot, baby. Y'all are gonna be hot because
Right.
all the rest of this shit is coming June, July, August. It's gonna be hot.
Mhm.
This shit is crazy, and I'll try and get the tickets next year if the lineup is hot and popping again.
Right.
But do I ever think it's gonna be 73 high in Las
just like, they
Vegas
really
in May
got-
ever again? No
I was like,
fucking
they
way.
really got fucking Mariah Carey to step out of her penthouse.
Mariah Carey is the reason. Mariah Carey changed the weather.
Right.
Because
Because
what?
you know-
Are you serious?
Because,
73?
baby, that diva was not about to stand in anybody's heat. I was like, she had something planned that she doesn't have to put into action. But I was like, I'm telling y'all now, either Mariah was not leaving from the shade of that stage and coming out to that little middle part, or she was like, no, I'm building a dome for my performance.
Right.
I don't know about what the other girls are doing, but I'm building a dome because I refuse to be burnt to a crisp.
It was insane. It was very insane. I was so hot, so sweaty, and I was by myself too. So I was like really just trying to survive. And I remember Neo came out in an all red tuxedo, full tuxedo, and sweat. And I was like, baby, I know you're Neo. You have your tuxedos, but baby, please, like I'm sweating watching you.
Listen,
Crazy.
I would, if I don't care how my body looked, I would have been like, baby, we're going shirtless. We're going shirtless. I would have come out of that tuxedo. That would have been the first thing that I did as soon as I got on stage. Striptease.
Catch me in my Calvins, bitch.
Exactly. In my Calvins. Go ahead and roll the camera and make this your commercial.
Yeah. So with this information, I think this is a really cool take because anyone who disagrees is crazy. That is so.
Right.
That is it. That is the one. And I'm mad. I would buy resale tickets right now, but my mom is coming in this weekend. She comes in the day that the fucking festival is, which also last year they did 2 days, but this year they're only doing 1, which just makes it even more
That even hurts even more.
It
Yeah.
does. I'm like, oh my God. So
Okay. My cold take is for the other Bailey sister. I think
the other Bailey sister.
Yes, because you know my cold takes have been for Halle Bailey. I've had 2 cold takes for Halle Bailey.
I know, but it just sounds the type of way to just refer to her as
because
the
I know
other
that already.
Bailey
I already know it's because I know it's a heavy topic right now. Like people are in Discord,
Right.
Discord about Chloe Bailey, and so I was just like, I know the girls are gonna try to fight me regardless. The ones that are really loving her, but it's a cold take because I think that everybody can agree that Body Do should have been the lead single.
And even if not, which I agree it should have been, but even if
It should
not,
have been
where is it today?
Single, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, it should have been a single. You gave a video treatment to every single song, but like,
Yeah, I don't know
but
what
Body
that
Do?
is.
Like, I just don't understand that. Like, and we can go into a lot, and I'm really not gonna go too heavy on Chloe because she's been dealing with a lot in her interviews and whatnot, and people like really just coming down to her about this album. And at the end of the day, I'm just like, she looks like she's killing it on stage for her tour. She was saying they're sold out. People are singing back songs to you. And honestly, as an artist myself, that's all I could ever want. If I show up anywhere with more than fucking 5 people singing every word that that's to my song, I'm like, honestly, I am proud and I'm happy. So I'm happy for her doing her thing. But my thing is, Miss Chloe, you knew, and her team knew. I don't know who I'm talking to, but whoever decided that Body Do should not get a video treatment and a single treatment, crazy. And if it's Chloe, I'm sorry, I love you, but it's crazy. And you know that it's crazy because even now you're like doing little dance challenges and whatnot because Body Do is like becoming the track that people actually listen to. People that don't like the album, people that have said so many things about Chloe Bailey, they listen to Body 2, and I've been telling people, listen to Body 2 though. Listen, like I've been going up for Body 2 because it's that song, and it sounds like I've seen under every video. That's why I made this cold take. Under every video, every post about Body 2, everyone agrees that it
Make
should
it a single.
be
Yeah.
a single.
Yeah.
So hopefully, it sounds like, it looked like she got a goddamn budget because Baby Girl has a video for every single. So
yeah, and I feel like it's coming because she keeps posting. I keep seeing
Right.
videos about when she performs this song at the concert and everything. She actually was just here yesterday for her last show of the tour, and I almost
Yeah.
went, but I like her album. Like I haven't fallen in love with it because I haven't
Mhm.
listened to it too much, but I
have to
did
go back
like
and listen
it.
again.
I liked it more than I expected because people have been on that negative shit,
Mhm.
and it's not to invalidate anyone who doesn't like the album. I'm just saying y'all put my expectations real low. So
Mhm.
so I would listen to it and I was like, no, it's really not. It's not all of that y'all are saying it is or isn't. I enjoyed it. But I just didn't know it well enough to go see the concert. But I
Right.
know she's killing it. And
Right. The videos look great. She looks like she's having a great time.
yeah, and I'm sorry to mention Khalil again, but he went to the fucking concert in Chicago,
Mhm.
and
At
he
this point,
said,
Khalil just has to be featured in the next episode.
right, and he said that she had a bunch of fans, and she came out after the show and said hi to all her fans that were waiting outside and took a picture with them, and he was like, she's gonna be all right because
Yeah,
she
and that's what it's
has
about.
fans.
Yeah, and that's honestly what it's about.
And even if you are someone that thinks that this album underperformed or didn't give what you wanted it to, it's the first album, and Baby
really
Girl is
is.
so talented. So regardless, y'all are stupid if you're
And
you're
she
counting
had
her
so
out.
much. It's also she had so much against her in terms of expectation because Chloe and Halle had their most successful album, Ungodly Hour, and then everyone looks at her as Beyonce's pupil and whatnot. So it's just like she already had so much pressure to begin with.
Yeah, and all of this is going on at the time that now Halle is stepping into the light, being Ariel.
Right.
So now you not that you should, but you
But
undoubtedly have people making the comparisons and trying to
and the
use
thing was, what
Chloe
was really,
to talk about Halle, and it's like,
right,
no,
which is crazy. And I'm like, I hate when they do that, and I love when Halle has been in interviews with her, and they aren't. Halle's there to basically support Chloe, and they overlook Chloe and start asking Halle questions, and she's like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm here for my sister." So
yeah,
and I
They're
love that.
real.
I love their relationship, but yeah, and I can only imagine what she's dealing with. And I think, like you said, for her, it really is a debut, and it's her first album. And the thing is, people expect it because they've been doing music for so long, because they know Chloe and Halle to be who they are, that it was going to be at that caliber. And I just think that we also have to realize that Chloe is not Beyonce, and that Chloe is not the Chloe and Halle version. She's not doing that version of herself. She's trying to find herself as an artist and a more realized artist. So, and that's hard to do. It's hard to detach the two.
Absolutely.
So that's it.
Well, let's wrap this shit up then. It's been a fucking great episode.
It has been.
I hope y'all enjoyed listening and watching as much as we've enjoyed talking, because this has been really fun.
Right.
Please, whether on social media at Sonic Juice Pod, in the YouTube comments, or in the show reviews, let us know what eras you love, what eras you appreciate, what eras you want us to touch on the next time we come around to the era episode. Okay. And with that said, again, follow us at Sonic Juice Pod. You can catch me, Tyler Music, at TXLER Music on Instagram. TXLER fucks.
Down.
Oh,
honestly, that just needs to be.
That's my next Instagram profile.
Your next handle, TXLER fucks. You can find me on all social media platforms at I am Nate Myles. That's spelled with a Y, Myles.
Beautiful. Well, thank y'all again for coming, and we'll see you again soon. Sonic Juice out.
Bye. We out of here. Sonic Juice.
Juice, it's Sonic Juice, Juice, it's Sonic Juice, baby.